Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the September 2021 developer update. Now before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know that we do stream on Twitch throughout the week at twitch.tv/Parklis. So come on by, hang out, have a good time, ask any questions, whatever. We like to play DBD, we like to play other games too, like Sea of Thieves, maybe some Dungeons and Dragons, who knows. So let's get right on into this. Now, we know you hate to read, we hate to read too, but somebody's got to do it. So we read it for you and hopefully keep you up to date with what goes on in Behavior's mind. Back so soon, welcome back to the developer update, a series of posts detailing some upcoming changes to Dead by Daylight. Previously, we went through a ton of changes and we've got just as much in store today. If you haven't read part 1 yet, you can find it here, or again, if you hate reading, we'll post the link either in the description or somewhere here to watch the video from last week for developer update part 1. So without further ado, we are getting into some more killer updates. Now, last time we talked about Trapper and someone else. This time we're going to be talking about the Destlinger. We've kept an eye on the Destlinger since his release last year, and we've had a few small changes aimed at his power. Currently, there is almost no delay between aiming down sights and being able to fire your weapon. Likewise, there is almost no delay between canceling your shot and going for a basic attack. This creates lose-lose situations for the survivors where there is nothing they can do realistically to avoid getting hit. For example, if they vault a window, you can easily aim down sights and fire without giving them a chance to dodge your shot. But if they decide not to vault the window, you can easily cancel your shot and hit them with a basic attack instead. Additionally, since there's almost no delay, the survivor must constantly dodge and run erratically just in case the killer decides to shoot. With that in mind, we've made the following changes. You can no longer shoot until you have fully aimed down sights. Increase the delay after canceling your shot before you can start a basic attack, and also decrease movement speed penalty while aiming down sights. Since the Destlinger would spend more time aiming down his sights than before if you quickly aimed and fired, we felt it was only fair to increase the movement speed while aiming down sights to compensate. This will cause you to lose less ground while aiming and keep up with the survivor a little longer. Last but not least, we've increased the Destlinger's terror radius to 32 meters. The Destlinger is the only ranged killer that does not have a lullaby, which meant terror radius reducing perks like Monitor and Abuse could allow you to get close enough to surprise and hit a survivor without them getting any warning whatsoever. Like usual, we have also gone through a few of Destlinger's add-ons and given some small buffs to the least used / powerful ones. Now, they didn't list any this time, but I'm sure upcoming they'll show us all the changes and we'll go over those too. Now with the Plague. The Plague has been in the game for a while now and hasn't seen a whole lot of change, but that ends today. We're making a series of quality of life changes that should make her more effective and more fun to play. First, we looked at infected objects. Previously, interacting with something would cause your infection to increase faster. We're adding an additional penalty to interacting with something that is currently infected, meaning your infection will increase even faster than before. Additionally, we've increased the base infection duration on objects like generators from 35 seconds to 40 seconds. These changes will make infecting objects feel much more impactful. Next, we turn to her Vile Purge. The Plague takes a massive hit to her movement speed whenever she is on cooldown after purging or canceling her purge. We've increased her movement speed from 2.3 meters per second while on cooldown to 3.6 meters per second. This will cause her to lose far less ground when she does so. One of the things that felt really bad for the killer was when you let go of your power button a little too soon, causing your power to be canceled entirely. Now tapping the button or letting go before the minimum threshold will cause your power to continue charging until the minimum amount has been reached. Basically, it now works like the Huntress's hatchet. Finally, we've increased the time it takes to cleanse at a fountain from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. Like other killers, we are changing in this update. We've revisited the Plague's add-ons as well and did a complete pass on some of the less powerful or rarely used one. For example, Prayer Tablet Fragment. Vile Purge no longer affects survivors. However, you increase object infection duration by 40 seconds. Now remember, they're changing it up to 40 seconds. So this will increase object effectiveness to duration by 80 seconds. Also increased infection from infected objects by 100%, and you increase deviousness blood points by 100%. And then the incense survivors who cleanse at fountains have their auras revealed for 4 seconds. So now Plague will have 2 aura add-ons, which will be interesting. And this one is a common. Survivor item add-on update. Surprise! We also updated the description of item add-ons in this update as well. Like we've done for killers, each survivor item add-on will now list their effects with numbers rather than descriptive terms like moderately, considerably, and so on. Additionally, add-ons, I think that's supposed to say that, add-ons that grant a status effect will also have a brief description of what that status effect does. Perk updates. Just like last time, there's more perks that are being changed, and these can never be enough. They can always update perks. Oh, did you think the list last week was all of them? Windows of opportunity. Much like Zenshin Tactics, we are removing the cooldown from this perk entirely. We are also increasing the range to 24, 28, and 32 meters as well. Repressed Alliance. Repressed Alliance has the potential to save a good chunk of progress when timed well, but due to the high requirements for the perk to activate, it can often not be ready by the time you need it. With that said, we've reduced the time required to activate the perk to 55, 50, or 45 seconds, depending on the rank. Built to last. Now, this is an interesting change. This perk shipped with fairly safe numbers to make sure it couldn't get out of hand, but that ended up making it a pretty unpopular choice. We've reworked it to be far more effective at what it's meant to do. Hiding in a locker for 14, 13, or 12 seconds with a depleted item in your hand will cause it to refill to 99% of its charges. Each use of Built to Last reduced the number of charges refilled by 33%. Keep that in mind. It doesn't say it has an amount of times the perk can be used. It says every time you go into a locker to use Built to Last, the amount of charges that it brings back is reduced by 33%. So if this is worded exactly, you have 99, so you have 100%, and then you refill it to 99%, and then 66%, and then 33%, and then 0. But this is any item, so I'm not sure if it's going to allow you, if it's going to be a stacking debuff per item or a stacking debuff per player. What that means is, can you bring multiple depleted items in and do 99, 66, 33, or do you have, like, let's say 3 charges of Built to Last that can use throughout the entire game? We'll have to see what happens when it actually comes out, but this is an interesting change. I like it. Any means necessary. Previously, we reduced the cooldown of any means necessary and saw more people start to use it. It's still not quite where we'd like it to be, so we've added an aura reading effect on all dropped pallets. This way, as soon as it's ready, you'll know exactly where you can use it. No Mither. No Mither allows you to trade a health state for other bonuses, but these bonuses aren't strong enough to warrant using the perk. We've increased the grunts of pain reduction to 25, 50, and 75%. Additionally, we've added a 15, 20, and 25% increased recovery speed while in the dying state. Side note, yes, we know a lot of you use this perk as sort of a hard mode. We're not looking to completely get rid of that, as silly as it may be. Mindbreaker / Fearmonger. This is a simple one. Survivors who are working on a generator will now suffer from blindness in addition to exhaustion. This will cause the perk to not only prevent the use of exhaustion perks, but also any aura reading that the survivor may have. So this will be interesting. I still think Mindbreaker is going to be used a lot more. Now the section we have all waited for. Hatch and keys. The hatch and keys, by extension, have long been very contentious topics, leading to some heated debates. We have some changes incoming to make them a little fairer. First, the hatch will no longer spawn if there's more than one survivor in the trial. This means you'll never have to worry about the last 3 survivors vanishing when there's still 1 generator left. Additionally, the hatch will now take a few seconds to open with a key once it is closed. Progress does not reset when the survivor cancels the interaction. This eliminates the problem where a survivor can simply sprint straight at the hatch and instantly open it and escape. With that said, these changes will make the "Where did they go?" achievement impossible to obtain, so it will be changed to escape through the hatch using a key. So this is interesting. First, the hatch will no longer spawn if there's more than 1 survivor in the trial. So the key will only be useful if you're the last remaining survivor and the killer closes it. You will no longer have 2, 3 gens, or 2, 3 gens, or 1 to 2 gens, and then everybody just dipping. Boon Totems. This is what you survivors have been waiting for. As promised in the anniversary live broadcast, we are introducing some new gameplay around totems. These will add an extra objective around the map, and much like the killer's hex totems, are tied to survivor perks. Survivors will be able to bless a totem to change it into a boon totem, and these blessings are designed to offer comfort to the survivor team, a small safe haven. However, unlike Hex Totem, the killer can also quickly interact with the created Boon Totem to completely remove the associated blessing, once again turning it into a dull totem. They will also be able to hear the Boon Totem when it is in range. Each survivor can only have 1 Boon Totem active at a time. This Boon Totem will combine the effects of all of their equipped Boon perks. This will add some more strategic decisions for survivors to make when it comes to their interactions with totems. So this will be interesting. If you have 4, let's say you have 4 Boon Totem perks, you activate 1 Boon Totem, all 4 perks become active. The killer can interact, thus removing these interactions. It's not clear yet if the survivors can then re-interact and charge a totem with Boon, or if they're gone for the rest of the game like the killer's Hex perks. This will cause an interesting thing since Hex Plaything came out, where as long as there's an open dull totem, you can get a totem to activate. With that being said, if you have Hex Plaything plus, let's say, Hex Undying or another Hex, you can basically shut down Boon Totems 100% because there will be no open dull totems for them to use. So this will be some interesting things. I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing. I'm guessing there will be a survivor coming out as DLC shortly as a standalone, probably mid-chapter or somewhere around there. So the next month and a half. So keep an eye out, or half a month and a half, somewhere between there. And we'll see what they're going to be doing. With that, we've come to the end of the developer update. All of these changes mentioned in this 2-part post will be available for testing in this week's player test build. We look forward to hearing what you think, and until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. There's an addendum. Addendums do not happen often. We're thrilled to see such a positive reaction to the first part of the developer update. We have a small update to something we announced in part 1. Unfortunately, due to time constraints and the size of this mid-chapter, the change to the spirit, which would cause her to kick up dust while phasing, needed to be pushed until further notice. The directional audio will be in the mid-chapter PTB as planned. We've seen some mixed feedback to the dust change specifically, so we will monitor feedback closely from the PTB and subsequent release to see if this change is ultimately necessary. So no more kicking up dust from spirit, but the audio will still be there. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, let me know. If you liked what you saw, or if you want to see more, a like and a sub is surely appreciated. You guys know how YouTube works. It makes me happy. You guys get more information and less reading you have to do. And also when we come out with more guide videos, such as other totem videos and such. But If no one told you already today, we love you all very much. And remember, stay safe out there in the fog.